Come and see A Bronx Tale, the original one-man show. Check the dates below. Monday at 11 o'clock, that's the new show. This is my producer, John Sheridan. Here he is. He'd never been on camera before. 5 years he's been producing the show. He does an incredible job. He actually filmed my one-man show that's on Amazon and Google, and it's on everything.
Yeah,
right?
you can get it on all the streaming services.
All the streaming services. An extremely talented man. John, it's good to make people see who you are. They hear your voice all the time.
I know it's the first time, but it's a special occasion. I have something that I wanted to give you, but before we get into that, I want to ask you, like, what are some of your favorite memories of the podcast? We've been doing this for 5 years now.
Wow. My favorite memories? Well, I think some of my favorite guests were Billy Joel. I've always been a fan of Billy's. Saw him many times. I think he's a genius. I hate saying that word, but it's true. He is a genius. People always say that word undeservingly, but not to Billy. Not for Billy. He is a genius. I also love doing with Alan Menken. Was great, the great writer from all the hits, and he wrote the music for Bronx Tale, the musical, and another genius, two geniuses, and I say that from my heart. They're geniuses,
We have people like Bill Burr, Fat Joe.
Oh, my favorite, one of my favorite comics, just Bill Burr, very funny, just hysterical. And just Fat Joe was great from the Bronx. Fifth floor, man. Fifth floor. Fat Joe!
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, you both have a fifth floor story.
We had the fifth floor stories. So I just love the people I meet, and I love but I also just love I have neighborhood people, Squiggy, Sandy Blue Eyes, and Bobby Lamb Chops, and I do my show for myself. If I get followers, great. My fans can see my show, and I advertise when I do my one-man show. I could talk about my restaurants, Chazz Palminteri's downtown, 30 West 46th Street, got to plug it in, 264 Main Street, White Plains. I just love doing it. We started doing this during COVID because everything just stopped. So I said, well, I got to do something. So I found out who the best producer was, and I got in touch with you, and I said, let's do it.
Goes by fast, though. 5 years. I can't believe it.
Right, John? 5 years, man.
But over those 5 years, I think we've gotten literally hundreds of millions of views between all of our clips, between YouTube, between Instagram, TikTok, all that kind of stuff.
Sure.
We've racked up a ton of followers, and this was sent to me in the mail. And
wow.
And I didn't want to open this. I wanted to save it for you so you can open it on your podcast. And we can see what it is. It's sent directly from YouTube.
They sent that to you, sir?
I had it sent to me. I didn't want it shipped here. I wanted to give it to you myself.
Oh, wow.
And I've never seen one of these in person, so this is going to be interesting.
Wow, look at this. Do you remember your first subscriber? Chances are we know that you definitely remember your 100,000 subscribers. Wow. We're proud to honor your impressive milestone. We know that you have many more stories, but to keep creating. Do you remember your 100th? Who is my 100,000 subscribers?
I don't know. It didn't tell me who it was, but we reached that milestone. They sent us this letter.
Wow.
And they also sent us a plaque.
A plaque. Wow. I am really, really touched by this. 100,000 subscribers. I mean, wow.
What does that mean to you?
It means a lot. 100,000 people care what I got to say. To me, that means a lot, man. Here it is. Chazz Palminteri Show for passing 100,000 subscribers. Wow. I'm very proud of that. Thank you, John.
As you should be. I mean,
and you should, you're part of this too, obviously, because without you, I wouldn't be able to do this. So, thanks, John.
Of course, no, thank you. It's
I appreciate
definitely
it.
meaningful. I think we need to put it up somewhere here.
Yeah,
We'll find a spot for
I'll
it.
find a spot.
But
Wow, that's great.
I think it's pretty cool.
It really is.
All right,
Okay,
back to the episode.
that's really nice of you, John. I had no idea this was going to happen. Another old school. We had Sandy Blue Eyes a couple of weeks ago, and now we got Raffy, Squiggy, Squalante. Raffy.
Cheer.
Tell us that story, how you came into this world being born.
I started out in this world in a very strange way.
Go ahead.
My father, they called him Hogan. He was a professional fighter. He was a degenerate gambler, which I loved him dearly, but he was a degenerate gambler. Now, I'm born in Harlem Hospital. So my father, in those days, you couldn't pay with, there was no credit cards. There was no checks. My father's check, you have to cash and highlight because he had no money in the bank. You know what I mean? So he had the cash. He's on the way to Harlem to pick me up. He stops in a dice game and loses all the money. Now, my father was one of these guys that it didn't let him bother him. He went home.
Yeah, hold that. Go ahead.
He went home, and this a week goes by, 10 days go by. According to my father, by the time he picks me up, I'll go and study with the nurse because he's a strange guy. So my mother's brother, who was a good fellow, they call him Louis the Racketeer, he goes over to the house. He says, "Hey, Hogan, where's this kid? And where's my sister?" It's like 3 weeks. Right. So my father's go, ba-bing, ba-boom. He can't answer. Finally, he confesses. He says, "I lost the money." So they take him to a Shylock, Fat Tony in the neighborhood. So my father gets the money, gets me out. So I guess I was born on points, like we would say in my neighborhood.
So your father actually lost you in a crap game.
My father lost me before I was even born in the crap game. He was the funny part was he wasn't too concerned about it. Like, he just figured there was 2 more people less in the house to feed. I don't know what the hell it was,
Now, how long have they been calling you Squiggy? Ralph?
Well, they called me Squiggy later in life. And really in the neighborhood, my name was Raffy Lock. Now, the people that know gambling, a lock means a winner.
A winner, right.
But that shows that's an oxymoron because I lost 96% of the time. So I don't understand what they got the word lock from, but that was my nickname.
That was your nickname. So it was Ralphie Lock, and then we went Squigolante.
Right, because they couldn't say Squalante, so they said Squiggy.
Squiggy.
It had nothing to do with Laverne and Shirley, none of that.
Now, the interesting thing about it, when you started off, you were a police officer, right?
For a while.
For a while.
A brief while.
A brief while.
Yeah, yes.
Now, somebody told me that you were actually a police officer, this is like the 70s or 60s?
Yeah, 60s.
60s, that you actually went to work, they told me, in a tuxedo with a carnation and everything.
Yeah, well, I also took bets, but that's I led a strange life. Right. Don't forget, I came from that neighborhood, and I never thought gambling was against the law. Right. According to my family, it wasn't. We all gambled. Everybody was bookmakers. So I never thought there was a problem with that. But apparently there was.
There was.
Yes.
And is it true that one of the crap games got raided and you were in uniform when they raided the game?
Yeah. And that was actually in Jersey, and I was supposed to be in the. Is this still good? I guess statute of limitations are over, right?
Yeah,
50 years ago.
Yeah,
I was in Jersey. I was supposed to be in the 4-1. A friend of mine says there was a dice game there. I was on light duty. I went there. Boom, 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 bang. I don't know if you remember. He's probably dead now. Joey's boy. He says, "Ralphie, there's no problems here." No. So I'm sure one of the few times I'm winning. I got my gun belt on. I'm shooting dice. All of a sudden the doors open up and everybody's moving. I said, "This ain't good." I ain't the brightest guy in the world, but I knew this ain't good. You see guys freezing at the table. So they walk in, and they're looking around, and the guy comes over to me and says, "Where's that?" I said, he says, can I curse?
Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me? So he says, I said, "Please, I don't." He says, "I don't know what to do." He says, I never experienced anything.
Right.
He says, "You got to wait for the lieutenant to walk in." The lieutenant walks in. He looks. He says, "Come here." The retired guy too. He says, "You either the ballsiest or the dumbest fucking cop I met in my life. Get out of here." They put me. I went in the car for the first. I had the light up over the bridge because I was going to write a note. I quit. You know what I mean? Because I don't know. There's no way to explain this.
Right.
Yeah.
So you left the police force, obviously.
Yeah.
Or maybe you were pushed out, whatever.
Well, they asked me, could you find some other source of income? Yeah.
So right there, that told you.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, I know I wasn't made for this type of life.
Right.
So
Now, for the people who don't know, a quick thing that you were in a Bronx Tale.
yes, I was there for 6 months.
6 months. That's
6
right.
months. You didn't even know 6. I get a phone call at my friend's place. He says, was De Niro's secretary. He says, Bobby's got a gift for me. I said, well, a gift? I thought it was a Porsche. I think I'm there 6 months. So I go back, and it was an overcoat. It says, thanks for 6 months work. Boom, boom, Bronx Tale, Bobby. I said, at least put Bobby De Niro. They might have thought it was Bob Villa. I did aluminum sidings. You know what I mean? How do I know who it is?
Right. But you got cast. I remember you came in. De Niro and we met him. Well, I knew him, and I said, Bob, you got to meet this guy. And then when he met him, he said, come on, we got to get him in the movie. And he was in the crap game.
Crap game. I was the one when you get shot. I took the gun off the guy.
You took the gun off the guy. That's right.
I saved your life,
and
but you got killed anyway.
You were also the one when the first day we did the scene, the prop guy walked over to us and said, listen, we're $1,200 short because we had to use real money. And all these guys were stealing the money.
Well, I told him, even in the movies, I lost in the fucking dice game. Even in the movies, I lost. But it was very depressing.
But after about the second or third day, they put all the money back because De Niro wanted to use real money, so that's basically what happened. Don't forget, come to Chazz Palminteri Restaurants, 30 West 46th Street, 264 Main Street in White Plains, New York. I tell you, my restaurants, I never say I have the best Italian restaurant in the city. I have one of the best. There's a lot of great restaurants in the city. But mine is absolutely in the top 5, one of the best Italian restaurants you'll ever go to. And just tell the waiter you're a fan of my podcast. Free desserts. That's correct. Incredible desserts, free, if you mention that you are a fan of the show. So, and then you're now, please don't get me wrong here. I don't mean to cast aspersions on you, Steve.
There's been a lot cast already. I don't know why you're going to stop now.
You were at one time a degenerate gambler.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my whole family.
Whole
family, there wasn't a normal person in my family. I want to tell you, I'm going to tell you this one story.
Go ahead.
I just graduated high school. So you come home. I don't know how I graduated. It's beyond me. But I got home. I got this room. Now, 2 of the guys on the corner, I used Johnny S. and Plutimo, 2 of my idols, the 2 bookmakers, always dressed nice. I said, this is what I want. I don't want to be a doctor. I don't want to be a lawyer. I want to be a bookmaker. So I'm over there. I'm looking at them. They says, come on, kid, you graduated. We're going to take you to Belmont Racetrack. So I said, wow, I go home, I get all dressed up. You think I just got invited to fucking Harvard? Right, I was all excited. I run over there, boom, boom, bing, 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 bing. So I'm coming home, and I'm all excited. I said, oh, boy, I was with these guys. I thought about my idols. I go in the house. I forgot to take the program out of my pocket.
Right.
Now, my mother, who hates gambling because my father was a sick fuck, you know what I mean? Right. So she pulls the thing out. She starts screaming, he's gambling! She's screaming, ah! So my father says, you, get in that fucking room. I said, oh, boy, I'm going to get a beat. Because my father was, like I said, a prize fighter.
Right.
And, when he says, get in the room, you got in the room. I don't care how tough you were. I went in the room. So I'm looking for bats or anything you could hit me with to hide them.
Right.
He says, you, come here. So I walk over and he says, who won the 6th? So I knew right away, ba-boom, 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 my life was going definitely in the wrong direction.
The wrong direction.
Yeah. In fact, I got 2 words of wisdoms that I want to give you. This is a philosophy. My 2 uncles, which I love dearly, my Uncle Fofo was called Raffy.
Uncle Fofo.
Fofo. I don't know why he was called Fofo. And he had to go on the lam to California. He lived in L.A. But before he left, he says, listen, kid, always remember this. If you owe $1 million before you die, you had a good time. And he lived up to that thing. Then my other uncle told me, he says, and this, Louis the Rack, he says, listen to me. He says, always remember, dress good, always look nice, drive a new car, because if you don't, you can't borrow a dime. These are words of wisdom that were bestowed upon me.
That's right.
That's sort of
words of wisdom.
This is my neighbor words of wisdom. It was kind of bizarre.
Well, that's right. It's like what you always say. Like, people don't want to help somebody who looks like they need help.
Right.
Like
People never want to. Yeah.
When you go to a, to get a loan, you dress up as nice as you can. If
Yeah,
you,
but you see, these are loans in the neighborhood
Right.
that nobody went to Citibank.
Right.
Nobody had a job. How the fuck you go to applications? No happen. You had to borrow in the neighborhood.
No, it's-
You had to
Right.
look. If you went there looking like a broken down chandelier, nobody's giving you a
it's
nickel.
the same in Hollywood. Like
Right.
it's just like Hollywood. Like you said, like if you go in to pitch a thing, you don't want to look like some guy.
Right.
Hey, can
That's
you,
right.
can you
Nobody
buy
wants
my
to help
movie,
someone
please?
if you look like you need help.
Yeah, right. They want you
That's
to borrow
just-
money as if you have money. That's kind of strange, but that's
Right.
what their thought was.
Now, what's the craziest thing that you ever saw happen in the neighborhood?
The craziest thing I ever saw happen in the neighborhood?
Well, he must have saw a lot of
I
crazy
saw
stuff.
everything. My whole life was crazy. We lived like we grew up with certain guys. My guys, my crew, were all degenerate gamblers. Everyone in my group. There was one kid, Ricky, my dear friend. He's the only kid that actually graduated college, and he's still trying to live that down. You know what I mean? He said, yeah. He said, I don't know how that happened. But we had all guys. All you did was gamble. Now gambling took precedence of everything. There was gambling, then there was eating, drinking, and girls. But gambling stood first. Some guys it was gambling, girls, drinking, and eating. But gambling was the first thing.
First
you did. I did a documentary. You left your house and you weigh 167 pounds. You walk out the door. You come home. You weigh 180 and you are 20,000. I mean, you didn't have to go nowhere in the neighborhood. There was dice games, card games. It was just like Atlantic City without a fucking ocean. You know what I mean?
Right,
That's what
right,
it was.
right. Right. I mean, so now at one time, now this is a story I heard about you, Squiggy. I don't know if it's true. Let's confirm it here right
There's
now.
statute of limitations on this story.
There is statute of limitations that you were working for the boys, and you were you were shylocking money.
Yeah.
And you started making them names because you.
Oh,
were
yeah,
getting-
but it's
is
my
that true?
uncle. I'm telling you, he says, loan out this money. But there was nobody. It was me. There was like 42 names. I made out of 42 names, maybe 6 people actually borrowed the money. He says, you want to go collect the money from these people? Well, I said, I'm getting a migraine. I says, I tried to fake a heart attack, but it didn't work. He says, go get the money. So it was a serious problem. But you know what's something? We never thought of it as a problem because that was just a way of life for
was
us.
a way of life,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? I was going out, guys. I would borrow from a Shylock to go on a date with a girl. Who does that? Nobody does that. Nobody does that. You borrow because you always wanted to look, like you were. Give everybody a drink. Give everybody a drink. You don't have 9 cents. You owe $1 million out. You buy everybody a drink. Very strange, but true.
But true. Wow.
Was there someone? Did you have a friend who was like an incredible craps player or?
Everybody was good at everybody was the best gambler. Everybody was the best before, but everybody was in trouble because it's just a way of life. If you do something every day, 24 hours a day. There was 3 dice games in the neighborhood. They have one in the morning, one in the afternoon, one at night. Now, this was the greatest. Now, if you got through the 3 of them, possibly, I did that once. They would send a car. This is true. They pick you up and take you down to Manhattan for the big dice game. Wow. I made that trip once in my life. In 30 years, I never made it through the 3 things. You got daytime, night, then you have card games. Yeah, you remember Bernie, my friend Bernie?
Sure.
Yeah, right. Now we're kids. Now we're making $80 a week. I didn't know what my job was. It's so long ago. I really didn't like to work. So $80, and we're all in the card game. We're playing cards, and you lose $500, $800, $700. You're making $80 a week. How are you gonna pay this money back?
Right.
So we're all on a train. We used to go on the 30th Avenue. Well, then you got on a thing.
Yeah.
You got on a train to be me, Pee Wee, Joey, Jackie, and me. And we're all broke. We just playing cards all day. But boom, boom, boom. We're all waiting for nickels and dimes. There was a sign. This way to Aqueduct. We all got off the train, went on there to Aqueduct. We didn't go to the jobs. We all quit. Your life was your life made no sense. Well, it made no sense. But it made sense at the time, but not now.
Right. I mean, obviously, then after a while, you finally got help.
Well, I had no choice.
You had no choice.
Yeah,
Right.
I had the after-hour clubs. I sold the club I didn't own. Yeah, the guy bought the club.
I told you, Dante.
Yeah.
see?
That was you?
Yeah, it
No,
was
no,
me.
no. He sold the club. Fast Eddie's the one who sold the luncheonette.
Yeah, the guy says.
Fast Eddie sold the luncheonette.
I said, the guy says, I have this club. He was throwing money on. I said, you want to buy? You got it. I'll give you a piece of it. He said, Raffy. He says, he bought a piece of the club. I said, yeah. He said, but you don't own it. I said, that could be a problem. You know what I mean?
None of that ever caught up with you?
No. I was a man of many talents. and I had a lot of friends.
You had a lot of friends. But then one day you said, I should, did you seek help as a degenerate gambler? Or
Yes,
you just stopped?
I just, basically, I went for help. I stopped. And, after a while, it just wears you out. I mean, you're out of your mind for 60, 30, 40 years. Then after a while, you got to take a break, no matter what.
Right. Don't forget my classic wine and my cigars. Cigar Aficionado gave the Sunny a 91 rating, a Bronx Tale 94, and the Cologio 92. All great cigars. LCGcigars.com. You can get the wine and the cigars. LCGcigars.com.
I saw this video on Facebook that was talking about the worst addictions, and gambling was number one.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know
Because
what it is? Let me say, let's say you're a drug addict, you're a cocaine addict, whatever it is. You're an alcoholic. There's only X amount of money you can spend. How many bottles can you drink a day? What are you going to do? How much? You can only do so much a day. Gambling, you could gamble all day. As long as there was phones, you could gamble. In fact, we used to have the phones in the neighborhood. There was no cell phones then. And every bar or every private club, every phone would have a sign, out of order. Because people had to make bets. You come go on the phone, call up, I just got hit by a car, or you get me an ambulance, get the fuck out, get out. You know what I mean? Every phone was out of order. All you did all day was just gamble. You just gamble from morning to night. And I mean, I'll tell you a great story. One of the few times I won a lot of money. A lot of money. It was, and now I got no bank. I don't know. I never had a bank. The last bank account I had, my mother used to put in $1. Used to go to kindergarten. That was it. So I don't know what to do with the money. Now I got a shopping bag full of money. So I go to my mother's house. I said, Mom, I got to hide the money. So she had a recliner. I put all the money in there, and I took like a couple thousand. And I go to Atlantic City. I got my friends. They pick me up. We go to Atlantic City. I tell my father, just watch the money. Make sure nothing happens. How much? Do I owe you money? He wants to know how much. Yeah. So I go over there. And now it's about 2 days later, 2.5 days later. I said, let me call the house. Something might have happened. My father said, you got to come home. I said, what are you talking about? You got to get home. I said, what's wrong? I thought somebody robbed the money. He says, your mother's been on this chair for 3 days. She eats on the chair. She sleeps on the chair. She says if she has to go to the bathroom, I got to sit on the chair. She said if they rob the house, they got to take us with it. So I had to come home. Strange, but true stories.
Wow. I mean, that's, but thank God that you stopped doing it.
Yeah, I'm fine now.
Now, do you remember was one of the crap games, I think it was one on Crotona Avenue.
Yes.
And it was called The Hole.
The Hole, right.
Everybody
I visited them all.
That's where I would I threw some of the dice for Fat Tony. I was young.
Yeah, right.
And that's what we duplicated in our Bronx Tale.
Yeah, that's 1,000% right.
And
But
then-
you know it. You
right.
just weren't, your friends would, thank God, weren't all, but all my friends were gambling. Guys would be proud of how much they lost. This is how when you're sick, you lost I lost $10,000. Nobody could pay nobody.
Right.
They're talking like they just got the cure for cancer. I lost I got $10,000. I lost $10,000.
And you know what's funny, right, Squiggy? Am I right or wrong? That if you made a score and you won a lot, by the time you got out the door, you had to give people, everybody want to borrow money from you.
Oh, yeah. Shalom. I didn't know who they were. There was like people. I said, who are you? Do I know you? But you were so happy that you just get that. I gave my sister a stack of dollar bills and I had all that money. It was like $3,000, which is a lot of money in those days, because I didn't want to count it. It just seemed like a lot of trouble.
Right.
I said, Rosemary, she was a little kid. I said, yeah, keep that. It's getting me wacky. I can't figure this whole thing out. It just seemed, I want it back, Rosie. No, I'm only kidding.
No. Now, we always talk about old school. Now, you're old school, Squiggy. I mean, you like to dress the way you like. You always like to look nice. You always wear your shop. Because the new trends, you don't care about things like that. You dress the way you dress, that's it.
Yeah, well, you see, when we grew up in a neighborhood, Everybody was dressed.
Everybody was dressed.
Everybody was dressed. I mean, you went on the corner, everybody's in suits. I mean, who was the best dressed guy? I used to go. I worked taking bets, and my friend, he's gone now, Bobby, and I used to be in the office. I used to go in one suit and bring another suit at night because I don't want somebody to see me in the same clothes twice a day.
Wow.
So we used to all go. That's all we did. How do I look? We look like a bunch of girls. We were tough guys. How do I look? How do you look? You look good.
Yeah.
How do I look? You like the shoes? Yeah. That's what we did.
That's right. In
That's
fact,
exactly.
I put that in a Bronx deal. Hey, how do you look? How do you look? How do I look? How do you look?
Right, you're right.
That's
But
all we used to
that's
say
all
to
we
each
used
other.
say. Yeah, guys, you're right. Nobody cared about too many things. The world could be coming to an end. Nobody
Right.
cared.
Nobody
They
cared.
didn't care. As long as the neighborhood was you in the neighborhood, it was funny.
was
You
beautiful.
were safe.
It was
You know,
safe.
we talk about neighborhoods that are safe. Our neighborhood, there was never a burglary, right?
Right.
Never, God forbid, a woman being robbed or anything. That never happened. And it wasn't the fear of the police. The fear was that if you did do something, you hope that the police would catch you, because if they caught you,
Right.
you had a big problem.
Yeah.
And that's what kept the neighbor. You left the doors open at
Right.
night. Nobody cared.
Right. I know guys that were running from the cops, and the wise guys were chasing them too.
Yeah, right.
And when the cops got there before the wise guys, they were happy.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Because if the wise guys would have caught him first,
Thank you. Especially, God forbid,
You hurt a woman.
You hurt a woman. I remember walking down the street, just, and we had to be about 17, 16, 17. We're tough kids, walking down the street. And one of the guys with me was a real tough kid, and he's cursing, really cursing, But unbeknownst to us, there was a couple of old women behind us. God's honest truth. Old man, maybe in the 70s, gets off the stoop, walks over, boom, and smacks him in the face. He says, "Don't you see this woman there?" Now, you know who he was. You didn't, he was 70 years old. It didn't matter. All you did was put your head down, turn around. We apologized. We're sorry, ladies. And we kept on going. That was the way it was. And that's the way it should be, really.
right,
We lived in a world of respect, right, Chazz?
totally.
We lived in a world of respect. You went out to nightclubs. Now, you didn't know, especially in a neighborhood place, you'd see a girl. Now, you got to think this thing over. She's winking at you. Now, you don't know if it's somebody's sister,
Right, you don't
somebody's
know.
wife, or worse, somebody's daughter. So, before you even say hello, you might say, this ain't a good idea. Let me go somewhere else.
Right.
You didn't go in the neighborhood and do these things.
In the neighborhood, you were always careful of who you were talking
Right,
to,
right.
who you were whistling at, who you were flirting with.
Yeah,
because
the
at any
life you
time,
save may be your own.
the life you say may be your own, and that's no bullshit.
Yeah,
man.
and Chazz knows. He's
that's
part of the neighborhood.
That's no bullshit.
Now, what does an
man.
old school guy like you think about social media?
I don't.
You don't.
I don't think about social media because I don't understand it. I be honest with you. I grew up in a different world,
Right.
and I don't get it. And I told her I stay home and I don't even want to look at television, so I don't watch it. I found the Bowery Boys on television. One night she says, "Are you losing your mind?" I says, "Why?" I said, "I don't want to watch no movies, no modern movies." I was watching The Flying Nun for 4 hours. Jen, that's when you know you're out of your mind.
Yeah,
I
right,
just
right.
don't want to see nothing. I have a girl flying around with a fucking pelican. Oh, God.
Now, what would you say, like an old school? What is your favorite meal? Did you like?
Well, in the old days, I liked a gabutzal.
You like gabutzel.
Oh,
Now,
I
for those
loved
who
it.
don't know what gabutzel is, that's the head of the calf, right?
Right. I remember when my uncle took me. You remember Michael's bar?
Yeah.
Yeah, Michael's. And that was all the boys in there.
Right.
My uncle says, "Come in. I'm a kid. You were like, who you were. I'm going in there with my uncle."
Right,
Boom,
right,
boom,
right.
boom. You go in there, sit down. You want a little wine? I said, "Yeah." He says, "We're ordering this." "Oh, yeah, order it." I had no idea what it was. Now, there comes out, they got a fucking head of a lamb. And the eyes looking at you. My uncle goes like this.
Yeah, that's how
I
you
always
start
had a
off.
heart attack. I
Right.
said, "Oh." But then after that, I loved Adrip.
Adrip. Oh, my God.
Boy, yeah. Remember soufrite? They made soufrite.
Right.
It was banned. They said it was killing people. My mother's giving me soufrite sandwiches. I'm going to school. The American kids are eating like bologna ham. I'm eating soufrite sandwiches. My mother's looking
It's
to whack me.
hardcore, man. This is hardcore here. Oh, now, did you have your pasta on Sunday, Squig?
Yes.
Every Sunday you had your pasta.
It's not. You come home late at night and you're half whacked. You go in there, you want to lay down on the bed. you can't lay on a bed. You got to go in the bathtub and lay down. One bed has covered heels and Yorkies.
Right.
Everything was
Lays
on the
down
bed.
on the bed, right?
Don't lay here. I'm not going to go to sleep. Go in the
We're
bathtub.
talking about laying him out because you would lay him out to dry. Then,
Right. Everything was laid out to dry.
Everything was laid out to dry.
Exactly right.
My grandmother would lay him out the
Right,
raviolis.
What? You couldn't go. There was no beds.
Go in the bathtub.
Yeah, you go lay down in the bed.
Now,
Get a
how was
pillow.
your mother? Was your mother a good cook?
Great.
All the mothers back then were good.
They all, and everybody, whatever you want, Navidad, Sicilian, they all cooked a little different.
Always
the
different.
Sicilians kids one way, Navidad, whatever you want, they had a little different to each meal.
To each meal, that's correct.
My mother, she made a thing called azuf. With all the cabbages, what was it called? Amanest.
What is that?
That was like 5 different cabbages. They put pork chops, sausages, spare ribs, and they would make it all night. 2 days later, I used to eat that. I come home half whacked. I'm out all night. I used to eat that for breakfast.
Really?
It was like better than Wheaties.
Wow. Wow. I mean, it was great back then. When you say,
We talk about that. I think of all my friends, and
Good.
on a more serious note,
Yeah.
you think of all the guys you grew up with. And I love dearly.
Right.
And they always say the good old days, they were the good old days. I mean, we lose them now, and when one thing like Chazz, a lot of friends. It's one thing having a lot of friends, but as you get older, you start to lose some of them.
Right.
And then you lose a piece of yourself every once in a while, right?
Every once in a while. Yeah.
Every once in a while. And, I mean, I loved that time. I would give anything to live one day there.
Yeah.
One day in my life
the beauty of Bronx Tale was we brought back and we put the
Right.
neighborhood in a time capsule. The way it was back
well,
then.
that's the way it was. Even I'm a big fan of the old movies, and I
Sure.
love character actors.
Right.
The Sidney Greenstreet, the Claude Rains, Elijah.
Right.
And you had the greatest character actors in your film,
Right.
and not because you're here next to me.
No.
Because
Okay.
from Bobby Bars to Eddie Mush.
Eddie Mush.
Eddie Mush
That
was
was
the
Eddie
real.
Mush.
That was the real Eddie Mush. You couldn't
Right.
get that. You can't cast a guy like that. You can't find him. Coffee cake.
Frank, yeah.
Joe the Whale.
Joe the Whale.
What did he say? Tell Squiggy, what did he say when he met De Niro?
Oh, when Eddie Mush met De Niro.
Yeah.
When he met De Niro, I brought him over. I brought Bob over to the car. I brought Mush over to the car, and he goes, "Holy shit!" Because he didn't believe De Niro was in the car. And De Niro, now this is Robert De Niro saying to you, "Listen, could you come to my office at 12 o'clock? I want you to read to me in my movie." And all of a sudden, Eddie goes, 12. He goes, 12. He goes, "Could I come at 3?" And De Niro said, "Sure, you can come at 3." And he goes and he says, but then Bob says to him, he goes, "Excuse me, Eddie, I'm just curious. What do you have to do at 12 that's so important?" And he says,
The
"The
double.
Daily Double."
Yeah, well-
He goes, "The Daily Double."
Certain things take precedence in my
Right.
neighborhood. You know what I mean?
Over Robert De Niro.
This is Robert De Niro could probably make you the first time in your
Right.
life a couple of hours for me and stuff.
Right.
But he still was concerned with the Daily Double.
And and actually Mush said that, and Bob laughed, and he looked at me and said, "Who's going to play him?"
Who's gonna-
And then when
exactly right.
he met Squiggy, he goes, "Forget it, get him in here." So he met all you guys, and you guys
it was
were
great. It was great. That was, at 6 months, I had the greatest time of my life on there. I met
Oh.
Al.
Met Al. So Charlie, who played Bobby Bars.
I did a play. I actually wrote it. It's kind of bizarre. It was
Right.
called Crotona Lounge.
Right.
Remember the Crotona Lounge?
Sure.
Yeah. And I wrote it with a great writer called James McSherry. We wrote it, and we were sold out for 3 months straight. You couldn't get in there.
Right.
My sister calls me up. She says, "Can I go see the play?" I said, "Nobody knows who I am. There'd be 4 people in the whole place. Who knows?"
Right.
She says, "You're sold out for 3 months. Every guy from the neighborhood, from the Crotona Lounge, I'm
They all
looking at it."
came.
It was about a kid who hits a number,
Wow.
and it was a comedy. And there were 16 actors, which is a
Right,
lot of actors
right.
on the stage. And the kid has a problem. He was a cocaine problem, a drinking problem,
Right.
a gambling problem, a woman problem. So they came up to me. He says, "Raffy, who is it?" I said, "That's me." I said, "Who is it?" "That's me." He says, "It was." We got a review. One guy says, "Sopranos meets Cheers."
Wow.
And
that's
it was great. It was
great.
in a post. It was a beautiful thing,
Well-
and I enjoyed everything. I mean,
Raffy, Squiggy, Squalante, you are the classic old school. We want to thank Raffy for coming and being on our guest on Old School with Raffy, Squiggy, Squalante.
Squalante.
Squalante. And like I said, this is Chazz Palminteri. We have a new episode every Monday at 11 o'clock. Don't forget to check out the one-man show, ChazzPalminteri.net, at a theater near you.
And if you have any questions, email us at ChazzPalminteriShow at gmail.com about Chazz or Squiggy.
At gmail.com. If you loved what Squiggy had to say, you got some questions, we're going to have him back on the show. And so God bless you all, and we'll see you next week.